already know what it is. Live, raw, and unapologetic. Welcome to the K.L.P Aftermath Podcast. Where the stories hit harder, the culture gets louder, and the aftermath, always legendary. It's more than a podcast, it's the takeover. Turn it up and lock in, because K.L.P is in the building. You're locked into the vibe that sets the tone. It's K.L.P Aftermath, first take, where we break it down, spark the conversation, and get you warmed up before the main event drops with Kennedy Lucas. Fresh, unfiltered, and laying the groundwork. Stay tuned because the man himself, Kennedy Lucas, takes over next. This is the Aftermath. You heard it first.
Hey everyone, Nora Adams here, your social media strategist, ready to dive deep into some of the most talked about moments shaping our culture today. What's really caught my eye lately isn't just the headlines themselves, but how our collective perception and support, or lack thereof, is shifting. It feels like we're in a real reckoning where the lines between celebrity, influence, and accountability are being redrawn right before our eyes. Today, we're going to tackle two very contrasting narratives. On one hand, we have the ongoing Diddy saga, a story of an empire seemingly crumbling under a mountain of serious accusations. And on the other, we have a moment that genuinely made me cheer, Cameron stepping up in a big way to defend his co-host against some truly inappropriate behavior. It's about who we stand by, who we call out, and what kind of industry we're really fostering. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about Diddy. It's hard to ignore the whirlwind of legal trouble surrounding Sean Combs. We're talking about a federal conviction for transportation to engage in prostitution, not to mention a slew of ongoing civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault, sex trafficking, and various forms of physical and emotional abuse. It's a stark reminder that even the biggest names aren't untouchable, and frankly, it's about time. For years, Diddy was synonymous with success, with bad boy for life, but how quickly things can change, right? His public image, once invincible, has taken a massive hit. Many celebrities who once flocked to his parties or collaborated with him have now either distanced themselves or outright condemned his alleged actions. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the persona we see is a carefully crafted illusion, and the reality behind closed doors can be far darker than we ever imagined. Now, despite the gravity of these convictions and allegations, it's fascinating and, frankly, a bit unsettling to see who's still in his corner. We've got figures like Jay Electronica, who's gone as far as to suggest conspiracy theories, even rapping about Diddy and Cassie while dismissing the legal process. Cash Cobain casually expressed excitement for Diddy's post-jail party, seemingly overlooking the serious allegations. Boosie Badav, after initially condemning Diddy, turned to attacking Cassie, framing it through a gender wars lens. Then there's Ray J, who flip-flopped from condemnation to calling it all a conspiracy, a move many saw as chasing clout. And, of course, Kanye West, one of the biggest names to echo conspiracy theories and downplay victim testimonies, even releasing an EP with Diddy's son. It makes you wonder, is it misguided loyalty, a cynical play for attention, or a dangerous reluctance to hold powerful men accountable? It's a sobering look at how easily some will dismiss serious claims when it concerns someone they've aligned with. Now, switching gears to a story that actually made me fist pump. Cameron. Former NFL star Cam Newton recently saluted Cameron for an exemplary display of integrity on his podcast, It Is What It Is. During an interview, boxer Adrian Broner repeatedly made inappropriate comments toward Cameron's co-host, Treasure Wilson. And what did Cameron do? He didn't laugh it off, he didn't let it slide, he stood firm, respected his platform, and ultimately asked Broner to leave. Cam Newton summed it up perfectly, saying, "Hey, real talk, bro, I appreciate what you did. It's needed." He emphasized that you have to respect people's platforms and, more importantly, people's boundaries. This isn't just about a single incident. It's about setting a standard. It's about showing that some things are simply not okay, regardless of who you are or your past relationship with someone. It was a clear, unambiguous moment of accountability. This leads me to a crucial point: why Cameron's actions are so vital. As Cam Newton rightly pointed out, everything ain't a joke, and this kind of persistent, inappropriate behavior is something women experience far too often. It's not about being sensitive, it's about basic human respect. As a social media strategist, I see daily how easily boundaries are blurred and how often women are subjected to disrespect in public forums. What Cameron did was protect Treasure Wilson, but he also protected the integrity of his platform and sent a powerful message. Misogyny has no place here. Newton's call to start highlighting and protecting our queens resonates deeply. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in fostering environments where everyone feels safe and respected, where a person's boundaries are not just acknowledged, but rigorously upheld. This is how you shift culture, one firm stand at a time. So, what's the takeaway from all this, folks? We have two very different narratives playing out in the public eye. On one side, the decay of a legacy shrouded in serious allegations and dwindling support, forcing us to reevaluate who we idolize and why. On the other, a moment of real integrity, where a powerful voice stepped up to defend respect and boundaries, earning praise and setting a positive example. It highlights a critical truth: accountability isn't just for the courts, it's for every interaction, every platform, every relationship. We need more Camerons in our world, people willing to stand up for what's right, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about fostering a culture where respect isn't optional and where those who violate boundaries are swiftly and unequivocally called out. Let's keep pushing for that culture, shall we? Thanks for tuning in. This is Nora Adams.
Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. Go! It's K.L.P Aftermath. Your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boy howdy, we back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back, welcome back. Y'all know that song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boy howdy. Let me get the air horn one more time. Look. Okay. First and foremost, welcome back to the podcast, K.L.P Aftermath Podcast, presented by iHeartMedia and K.L.P Entertainment. Yeah, I'm officially back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. Boy, howdy, it feels so good to be back. I know. I owe you guys a whole heck of a lot of podcast episodes. So a lot of people been missing out on the content from us, right? We haven't been posting as much of what we did last week. And I got a good excuse for that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the jury. I was out sick. If you guys know, you know. I've talked about it, but now it's a real thing that I've been out sick for the last week and a half. When it comes down to it, the weather is changing. Things are changing with me personally, and when that weather is changing, that's one of those things that it does happen. When that weather change, the sickness comes in. I've been sick. What it was that I had was a minor cold. I was sniffly. Thank God it wasn't a ear infection. Thank God it wasn't a sinus. What was it I had in January? Sinus respiratory infection. That was when I was sick back in January. It was just the light sniffles. A little bit of the cold, a little bit of sniffling, a little bit of some hotness. I will say this because on the show I like to be personable with everybody, with my fan base and everybody that's been watching the content. And I like to say thank y'all so very much with the content we were able to put out, whether it's Bro Code Podcast, again, Terry, Jackson, Tyler, Marcus, Cole. They put on a great show the last few shows last week. They hold the fort down for me. I'm forever going to be thankful for them. Down to Cole holding the fort down for Wake Up ATL. That show has been fantastic. Down to K.L.P Entertainment staff members with our new show, Teas and Cards, which is very interesting for that show because Teas and Cards is our new series that we got coming out. But when it comes down to it, that show was already made and already done. So really, we just needed to have somebody upload it really on the time frame. But it has been very, very humbling to have such great people around me that support me being sick. I had to cancel a football game for high school last week because I was just so sick and I just could not draw the energy to go there. So I reached out to my buddy Matt and the coach and our broadcast partners, and they understood. We've of course had somebody to fill in, but it's just, when you're sick, you just get sick, and it's one of those things. I do encourage people to get prepared for the weather changing. One thing, and I'll tell you guys real quick, and I'm going to start drinking water and stuff during the show. Hopefully you guys don't mind, because when it comes down to me being sick, it sucks because I'm a very active person. When it comes down to it, I've been very, very active when it comes down to being able to give you guys a show, being able to have the energy to put on a show and put on a good show for y'all. But I, just being in bed rest last week, watching a bunch of cartoons, being drugged up in a good way, Dayquil and NyQuil and some Halls. Like I was, and drinking some tea. The weather's changing, y'all. And I do hope that everybody get ready for the weather changes. I do say to a lot of people, invest some money into emergency, some sort of a boost immune system, right? When it comes down to either is from emergency or tea, because some tea companies, they make tea where it helps boost your immune system. Go ahead and buy a whole thing of that and a whole tray of tea, because when it comes down to it, you guys want to have your immune system boosted. So that way, when the weather is starting to change and things are starting to change and people is getting a little bit more cooler, then you're ready to go. You're not ready. You're not going to be battling the sickness. So I do say to a lot of people, just invest in that, because once you're sick, it cancels your whole plan. And it really makes me mad because, once you're sick, it kind of throws the scheduling off when it comes down to my podcast shows and the work stuff I got to do. I have to postpone it and put it off on hold and do something else, and just have to postpone some things. So very, very, very sad that I had to postpone a lot of things last week, but it is what it is. We have a rainy day fund. That's another thing. That's another important thing. When you have a rainy day fund, always have that ready to go, because it is one of those things that is very, very needed and very, very important. We were supposed to do What Happened Was podcast, which we will be doing that tomorrow. I'm very excited for that. I told Evelyn, hey, sorry, I'm not feeling well. We're going to have to postpone this podcast. So I appreciate her for her patience as well. And another thing that I'm learning about myself too, and that I might have mentioned it, and we'll get to the topics of conversations because we have a lot of great conversations to talk about. But one thing that I do say that I have that is not really, and I'm sure there's some therapy for it. I'm sure there's some medication for it. I did go to the doctor. Well, I did my physical back in January, February. And when you go and do your physical, you really want to do a physical each year. And that's something that I'm going to make a habit. Now, I do say to a lot of my men out there, please do not deny your health. I think I've said it when I talked about going to go get a physical. Don't deny your health, folks. Especially my men, we don't like to go to the doctor. We don't like to go get physical sometimes. Go get your physical so that way the doctor can analyze you and can show you what's really going on. Our bodies are very unique. We're very unique creatures, right? Our bodies will take a toll on you, and you will feel it, right? You will feel the anxiety, you'll feel the stress, you'll feel a lot of things that could be wrong with your body, but you never know because you didn't get your physical, right? So back in February, I did go and get a physical when I had got the respiratory infection. And after I was cleared from the respiratory infection, I got back sick and not feeling too well again. And my doctor told me that, I have a hypertensive thyroid. That's just something that I have. It is something that I think it might have been passed down from family to family members, right? But what that is just your thyroid is in your neck. It's like right here. And then if it starts to get a little sore, you'll start to get flashes, hot flashes. And it's not necessarily like, oh, hot flash, like you're fainting and you're super sick or you got a fever. No, that wasn't the case. It was the case where I have a hyperintensive thyroid thing that's going on with me because back then I haven't been as hydrated, right? I'm working out intensely, which I'm starting to sort of take my time at the gym because I'm very ambitious that I want to do a very intensive workout session because that's what I've been doing. But I'm learning to kind of take my time when I work out. Don't overdo it because my thyroid will spark up, and to not be hydrated enough and to watch what I eat. So ever since then, I've been trying to change my diet. I've been trying to eat more greens, more chicken and salmon. That helps with thyroid. I read online, again, I'm not a doctor, but I read online that dark chocolate helps with your thyroid. So maybe I'll try that in the future. I'm trying to kind of negate sweets because sweets will activate your thyroid, and drinking hot foods like coffee, right? That's one thing I'm learning to do. The only hot drink that I drink, I had to drink hot tea when I was sick, right? But hot foods and coffee is mushroom coffee because it just helps my digestive. And that's one of the things that I have been experiencing with thyroid too, is I have taken too much iron. There is a thing where if you take, because on occasion I do take iron, I do take B12 to gain my energy. But I think the iron, and I've been stopping this for a while now, but I think taking too much iron will cause me to have hot flashes because it's an iron overload. And I'm very transparent. I was constipated. So it could have been a lot of things that I'm taking that I shouldn't be taking. So I do say to a lot of people, a lot of my men out there, please do not deny your health. If you are consulting a healthcare provider and you're able to talk to a healthcare provider who is licensed and who is in the medical field and give you some good medical advice, take that advice. So that's one thing that I'm learning to do now. I'm learning to drink a lot of water with ice in it. And it helps. It does help. So hopefully you guys don't mind it when I drink water during the show. It's just trying to perfect my better health. And by doing that, I don't have a sore throat. My thyroid glands are not affecting right now as I speak. So that's just one of the things. I'm still a little sniffly, but it's just the aftermath of it all. But I do have the energy to come back and give you guys a great show. So I'm very thankful for a lot of that. There's been a lot of things going on. A lot of things have changed. Some things are changing up with K.L.P Entertainment as well. So there's just been a lot of great stuff happening, but it's a lot going on. So that's where I've been. I know I owe you guys a lot of podcast episodes. I do. But when you've been sick, you can't do anything but rest, right? And that's another part of my thing there is rest. Being able to stay at home, afford to stay at home and sleep. Just sleep and just get the rest that you need so that way you can take better care of yourself. So this is one of those things that it does happen for sure. Very, very excited. While I was just sick in bed, I did announce, and I'm very excited to talk about this real quick. And we do have a show review. I do. But I got to give a shout out to my program, my postgraduate, my doctorate program that I am in. Shout out to National University. I am very excited, and I've already announced it, but I can talk about it. I am part of the Omega Nu Lambda Society. Hopefully I pronounced that right. It is a society for online student takers who have been Very, very good in their program. I've been getting a lot of A's and I've had some B's in some of my assignments. I can't say I'm getting all straight A's. I get B's too. But I was able to go out and to earn the achievement of being part of the Omega Nu Lambda Society. And what that is a honors society with a little bit of a Greek kind of thing there too, where if you have excellent grade score, then they sent me 2 graduating cords that I will be wearing when I graduate with my doctorate in 2027. I did get a certificate. I did buy a frame. I got a certificate. It's hanging up in my home office, and I was able to get some pins and some stickers. One to which you'll see on my iPad right here, right there. I was able to get a sticker, and then there's the other stickers on my laptop. So very, very excited for that. I do say to a lot of people, again, if you have the opportunity to go to school if you can. I really recommend people going to school if you can. I know school is not for everybody. I can't say that school is for everybody because it may not be for you in particular. But if you're able to go back to school and have a great time and to get a higher education, I'm always going to be an avid fan and an avid advocate for higher education wherever you get it from. And I know a lot of people do go to a college campus, and I'm going to sit here and say there's nothing like going to an actual college campus. I've worked at 2 college campuses, and the environment is incredible, right? So I've been in that realm before, but I do understand that if you do have a full-time job, you don't have time to squeeze in to run to campus, then an online course won't hurt, right? That is one of the things I'm taking for my doctorate degree. I take it online because I work, and it's just one of those things that if I have to work as a full-time employee, then I'm going to take an online class. But I have worked full-time. I've worked my work study position, and a full-time job and going to school when I was at GGC for my undergrad. So it can be done, but it's a lot of work to do. So I'm very, very happy about that. Let's get to it. If you guys know what we got to talk to you guys about, I gotta find my button here because we got a review. Hold on, where's my button at? I know I program a review button in here. I just gotta find it. Here it is. Whew, that took a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to find it. Review time, ladies and gentlemen.
Bring it down.
Get up and hold up, let's spin it back. You're locked into K.L.P Rewind, the segment where we break it down, review it, and run it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, so our review today goes out to this show that is available on Netflix. T, you want to know what that show is? Shout out to T, by the way. He's here in the studio. Black Rabbit. Let me tell you something about Black Rabbit. Black Rabbit on Netflix is a thriller miniseries set in New York's nightlife, revolving a restaurant owner who gets entangled with criminal activities following his brother's return. I think Rotten Tomatoes should have gave this show something a little bit higher, because you've got the Emmy-winning Jason Bateman, one of my favorite actors, and the Academy nominee of Jude Law. 2 totally different people that works really, really well on screen. Now, the story focus on Jake Friedkin, that is the restaurant owner. He is played by Jude Law, who is facing escalating dangers as he reconnects with his troubling brother, Vince Friedkin, played by Jason Bateman, leading to dark secrets and old traumas that are resurfacing in the story. When I tell you this show is so damn good, it's so damn good. It's really, really good. Let me tell you something. I've seen Jason Bateman in a lot of great movies, right? I think I'm liking Jason Bateman's acting skill when he's playing either a troublesome character or a villain. That's different. Old Jason Bateman, you see him in rom-coms, romantic comedies, right? You've seen him doing that. And of course, he did Zootopia. He's the voice of Nick Wilde in Zootopia. Yes, I watched the movie. Yes, I love Zootopia. I can't wait until the second one. But as of late, And you've seen Jason Bateman play Bateman in the State Farm commercials. You know them residual chicks have to be fat. But to see Jason Bateman doing something, whether he's either a villain or he's a troublesome character. Now, the villain, he was a villain on this movie that came out around Christmas. It's called Carry On. And he was the main villain. I could see why he's Emmy winning, because Jason Bateman, I got to say Jason Bateman is on his prime right now. And he's been in a lot of dope movies before. I'm not going to discount all his older movies that he's been in. I'm not going to discount that. I'm not going to discount his amazing work in Ozark. I won't discount that show because that show's good too. But me being a fan of Jason Bateman, this is just what I think. This is just solely my opinion. I think Jason Bateman is in his prime right now, T, an audience, because he has a different range of acting in this show, Black Rabbit, where he's playing the troublesome brother that's trying to figure out some things out, but he's a criminal. He's been through some criminal activities as of late in the show, right? The full head deck of hair and a full beard. I wonder if that's all his, or did he have to wear a wig or something, because it's different. It's different to see Jason Bateman in playing a character like that. Then you have Jude Law. Of course, I've seen Jude Law in quite a few amazing movies and shows as well. It's good to see Jude Law back into the acting limelight of things. I think his latest work would have been lately that I've seen him in. He was in Captain Marvel movie, right? It's good to see him back doing his thing, right? I think he does still have that quote unquote sex symbol, sex appeal, pause, right? He still has that within his character, playing this character as well. I'm very, very excited for this miniseries to really do out. I do hope they get the reception that they need for them to do a season 2. This show might be difficult for a season 2 because it is a miniseries, right? And they market it as a miniseries. So typically when you market a show as a miniseries, there is no season 2 or 3, right? But they might change their mind. They might be able to change their mind and do some things that might be a little bit different when it comes down to it. I gotta give it up to whoever did the cinematography work on this show, right? It's not this show. Once you watch it, it's very gritty, right? And I think it works, right? It's the color correction that they did for this. They used a darker hue in color correction for each scene for the whole series, right? To make it look a little bit more mystery, more thriller, more gritty, the look of it. The cinematography work is amazing when it comes down to whoever worked on the cinematography of this show. Very, very happy to see that this show did really well. I think it's doing really well so far. They were also at the TIFF Festival to showcase the show itself. Very, very exciting to see that there's just a lot of great things that happen within this show that just really makes it go wild. And of course, you got not only Jude Law and Jason Bateman, but you got a lot of new actors and actresses besides Cleopatra Coleman. She's been in some stuff before. But you're getting a kind of a wide range of new, or at least to me, new actors and actresses that are showcasing themselves in this show, right? It is one of the, I gotta say, it's one of the shows, and a lot of people say these are the critics. They're saying it's absolute sleeper. They said it's just a boring, draining wannabe thriller. I beg to differ on that. I beg to differ on it because there's a lot of trials and tribulation. It's different, right? And that's probably what we need, is something that's a little bit different, just a little bit. Because if you got a show that is about the same thing, then it's just one of those things that it just doesn't work out if you got to show if it's the same thing, T. Now, of course, Jude Law, the charismatic owner of the Black Rabbit. And what's funny about this one is because I love the story. I really love the story. The backstory of the Black Rabbit with Jason Bateman and Jude Law. Jason Bateman was a drummer and Jude Law was the singer. And they called themselves the Black Rabbits, right? By the inspiration of, they had a magazine, Playboy magazine. It was a Black Bunny. They said, well, we can't call ourselves the Playboys, right? We call it the Black Rabbit. And Jason Bateman's character, Vince, has this idea. They want to open up a restaurant in New York. I think it's really, really dope to open up a restaurant in New York. It's very hard to open up a restaurant, pop-up mom and pop restaurant store in New York. Don't know personally, but I mean, I hear stories. But then Vince returns to business unexpectedly. Trouble soon follows, opening the door of old traumas and new dangers that have threatened to bring down everything that they have built. I think Jude Law's character is more of your brother's keeper, right? So your brother's keeper is there, and you don't want anything to happen to your brother. You don't. But then you got to understand that, hey, there's some trials and tribulations when it comes down to their parents have passed away, right? Very, very cool when Jason Bateman had the book of their dad's coin collection, and he tried to sell it off for $4,000, but they made off with it. And Jude Law said, hey, have you seen dad's coin collection? Because I can't find it nowhere. And Jason Bateman like, yeah. So very, very good show. I recommend it. I really, really do. It's gritty. Is one of those things where it gives us something to watch for sure when it comes down to a new show. But it's one of those shows that I actually do like. I want to see Jason Bateman in more grittier type shows, right? Because I think that's where he wins the most at it. Now, do I think that the show will be? Well, maybe it could win an Emmy for next year. I don't know. I mean, things can happen. But it's good. It's a very, very good one, ladies and gentlemen. Black Rabbit, available right now on Netflix. Netflix has been cooking with their content as of lately. You got Black Rabbit. There's a lot of docuseries that's available on Netflix right now. So they're cooking. It's just that time. September is right here, and the fall season is around the corner. Because I did start to watch the morning show, the next season. Very, very excited for that. I'm probably going to do a review of that show later on because they're doing this. The morning show does, and Apple does this too, where it's like you get an episode each week. So I would rather wait until I watch the full series so I can give you guys a full in-depth review when it comes down to it. But I do recommend, ladies and gentlemen, going to go watch Black Rabbit if you haven't. And it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I'm going to swallow this water. It's on Netflix. So, I can't do a WWE review because I had something to do yesterday and I kind of missed Raw. So I'm sorry to a lot of people that if you were looking for my Raw review, I won't have it today because I didn't watch it. I was out handling some business last night. So unfortunately, I won't be able to review something I didn't see. But I did, I did catch WrestlePalooza on ESPN. Interesting. Very, very good. I think WrestlePalooza was okay. You know, I feel like WrestlePalooza felt like if it was on Peacock, it would have been the same. I do like that, you know, AJ Lee and CM Punk won their match against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. That was really the highlight of the show, in my opinion. I'm not going to say that it wasn't a bad PLE, but I was kind of hoping WrestlePalooza, now with this new deal with ESPN, I was kind of hoping they would do something a little different than what they do their PLEs on Peacock, but it's kind of the same thing. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to, and we'll see, because I do have ESPN app, because I obviously do watch a lot of sports. It was good to see Pat McAfee there, because I'm a big Pat McAfee guy. I kind of wish he would have stayed the entirety of the event, but I get it. He only signed up for about 3 matches to commentate on. And really, I could tell that Pat McAfee didn't really, like, he wanted to be there, but he's just kind of drawn out about being a commentator with WWE and really working with WWE. I feel like he didn't really, I feel like he was just there because it was a quick paycheck. And there's no hate on Pat McAfee because, hey, if ESPN said, hey, we'll pay you $1 million to come commentate 3 matches, I'll do it. But I remember when Pat McAfee first came to WWE and became a commentator for Raw, his enthusiasm was there. I didn't really feel too much of his enthusiasm for WrestlePalooza, right? This goes by what I say. I think he's there because ESPN told him to, right? And he is kind of Mr. ESPN, right? With his big show, the Pat McAfee show with ESPN. He got that good primetime spot. ESPN kind of told him, hey, we need you there, right, for a pop. I was kind of hoping that maybe they had more returns. Like, I knew Brock Lesnar was going to win against John Cena because that's kind of the buildup, right? You got Brock Lesnar as this monster that he's always been. Every time Brock Lesnar comes back, he's going to do a pop. He's going to be the villain, the big beast villain, where he's beating up everybody and he's going to conquer all. He's going to do that. Although I did like Paul Heyman announcing him towards the ring. That's quite interesting because if Paul Heyman started announcing Brock Lesnar, will we see Brock Lesnar join the Vision? Now, if you have Brock Lesnar join the Vision with Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch maybe too, that's going to be a good stable, right? Or we might see that happen at Survivor Series where it's going to be Team Vision versus Team Cena, right? I feel like they're lining that thing up for the big Survivor Series War Games type match. We'll see what happens when it comes down to it. Like I say, I saw WrestlePalooza. I just was kind of hoping it would be different, but I feel like there was nothing different about WrestlePalooza than they were when they did their other PLEs on any other platform like Peacock, right? There's not really much of a difference. It's the same thing. It's just we're paying more for it. I feel, and hopefully that changes. I don't know if that's going to change or not. We'll have to wait and see when it comes down to it. But it's just one of those things that I just have a sinking feeling that it's just going to be one of those things when it comes down to it. And speaking of things that's getting ready to come down to it and new things launching, of course. So we did catch the Nintendo Direct a couple of days back. And I feel like I didn't talk about it on this podcast. Two things that I'm excited for Nintendo Direct. We did get a small version of a Mario 40th anniversary. Unfortunately, we won't really see a brand new 3D Mario type game. But instead, what we will grab is Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Galaxy 2 makes its way on Switch 2 next month, October 2nd. And I got to give a thumbs up for this because Super Mario Galaxy, I played for the Wii way back when, and I might be one of those people that's sad to say that Super Mario Galaxy holds up really, really well. Now, at the Nintendo Direct, they announced that it's going to be the new Super Mario Galaxy movie, right? Very, very exciting for that. I saw the Mario movie when it came out in theaters. I will see this when it comes out in theaters next April. I do love the video game type movies because they do really, really well. And I think it's going to be very, very impactful. I can't wait to see what the story is for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I did play the Super Mario Galaxy, the first one. I played for Wii way back when. I was a kid when Super Mario Galaxy came out. I was a young teenager, preteen, if you will, I think. And I never finished it because, again, I got drawn into all the other games that came out for Wii, right? And I don't think I played Super Mario Galaxy 2. I know it might be a bummer to a lot of people. They say that Mario Galaxy 2 is better than the first one. I could agree to that. I could attest to that. So when it comes to Switch October 2nd, there's going to be a bundle, a $70 bundle, right? You get two of the games for the price of one of $70, or you can buy them individually for $40 each. I think I will make that purchase because this is something that I've never, I haven't played the second one, and I played Mario Galaxy way back when. I didn't get the All-Star bundle. Now, if I had the All-Star, where it had Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy in one bundle when it came out in 2020, that was a limited run. And by the time I was able to get a Switch and really think about getting that, I couldn't find that nowhere, right? Or you can find that All-Star game on eBay for $200. Obviously, I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to spend that much money on a game like that. So I do think this is going to be a limited run for this type of thing. This might be something that I might have to find it in stores because you'll have it on the key when it comes down to it. Because it's a limited run, right? When it's a limited run and you buy it online, they can shut off the servers at any time, and then you won't have access to that game anymore. And that's just tough. You just have to tough that out. So that's one thing I'm really excited about. And then they announced the movie, and that was it. Would have I liked to see some sort of new Mario? And we did get new Mario. Of course, we're getting a new Mario tennis game, which is okay. I mean, this one seems kind of cool because there is an adventure mode, so that's really, really dope. I really, really hope they would have bring back either basketball, because I did play Mario Hoops 3-on-3 when I was a kid for DS, and both the Mario baseball games. They really made some money, T, with those Mario baseball games. Right, I remember my little brother got Super Sluggers for their birthday one year, and it was a very, very good. And that game had an adventure mode too, so it was really, really cool. Will we see another baseball game? Probably not. I think Nintendo is just so keen on golf and tennis and a little bit of soccer, and that's it. It would be dope if they had a baseball game, another new baseball game for Mario, or even a basketball game. That would be really, really cool as a party game. Will they do it? Probably not. They're not even thinking about basketball and baseball. But I think it would be really, really dope. So we are getting a new Mario game-esque. I think for these games, again, then Mario Tennis will come out next spring. I think this will be something that I will wait for when it comes down to a sale, right? This is the Mario Tennis game looks fun, but it won't be something that I'm going to get day one, right? And then in December, you got Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It is going to be launched officially December 4th. Very, very dope, because I was getting kind of nervous, right? Would have I liked to have seen this game come out Halloween season? Sure, right? But hey, we're getting it December 4th. They did show off this open world concept where Samus is on a bike. I do hope they fill that open world with stuff. I wouldn't want to have an open world for Samus where there's the open world looks very empty and there's not much to do, right? That's one of those things that I'm a little nervous about is, will there be enough to do in those in the open world concept as you're Samus and you're riding on that bike and you're going to navigate through locations? We'll wait and see. This will be something that I might get game day one. I'm always looking at reviews too, right? If IGN or GameSpot or Metacritic gives it a great score, then yes, it'll be worth the purchase. But I'm always about the video game reviews nowadays, because that would determine if I'm willing to spend premium pricing for a video game kind of concept. So it's just one of those things that you look forward to it, and hopefully we get some good reviews, right? We hope. Now, speaking of the hot topic here today, this is the topic for the show as well. The top story goes out today. Here's the top story.
Some of y'all might know this, and some of y'all don't.
Let's do it.
K.L.P has all the topics, stories, and gossip.
Only.
It is now time for our top story from K.L.P.
All right, so our top story goes out today. Very, very excited to talk about this type of conversation here today, because I've been seeing this, and I saw this on a lot of TikTok videos that did this. A lot of podcasters are talking about this. So I'm going to play this video, of course, from World Star, of course, here. We'll play it.
Recently appeared on Hot 97 with Nessa on air, shout out, and discussed the downfalls of being pretty. And she said, pretty people always talk about pretty privilege, but they don't talk about pretty punishment. What are your thoughts about this, fellas? Do you believe that pretty punishment is a thing?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I believe it. I believe it is a thing. I have seen, just growing up in inner city schools, I have seen pretty girls get picked on or get treated a certain way because girls were kind of jealous of the way the girl looked, or jealous of the attention that guys were giving the pretty girl, and they wanted to, kind of punish them.
That's real.
In a way. And I think that's a real thing. I think that's real.
It is a real thing, but I do agree with our last roomie saying that, pretty punishment is a thing, but pretty privilege 110% outweighs the punishment. The privilege outweighs the punishment. Sweetie had a couple really good records.
Yeah.
But the fact that those records came with that face, that made her. Did she get like a McDonald's meal or something like that?
She had McDonald's.
She had
Uber's
McDonald's.
all type of
deals.
deals.
Yeah.
She had some real deals that go with that music, and you that attractive. That definitely outweighed the punishment that she ever felt.
Yeah, I think both of y'all are right. Because that when you mentioned, I didn't even think about that being in high school and how the pretty girls did get picked on.
Fight.
Yeah, but I think
Excuse
as
me,
Sweetie's, what she was saying is about being in the industry right now. She feel like she may be facing some pretty punishment. I don't know, Sweetie. I don't know your struggle, sis. But from the outside looking in, it looked like your pretty has taken you mighty far. And
All right, so Sweetie claims that she doesn't just get pretty privilege. She's also experienced pretty punishment. That's from, not from World Star. That was from the Shade Room crew, of course, talking to the roomies as well. I think Sweetie is onto something. I agree with the gentleman for the Shade Room. I do unfortunately think that there is such a thing as pretty punishment. I've seen it too, and not so much in college because we've matured so much in college, but I've seen it to where in high school where I've seen a lot of girls get picked on because they have that pretty figure, right? Whether if it's slim waist, makeup did, clean face, pretty hair, I've seen those things happen before, right? I think it goes kind of both ways. It's a two-way street when it comes down to it, because there is a way that girls that when they overly think that they're overly pretty, they shrug it in, right? They shrug it in, they talk about it, and then it becomes where it's a conversation piece like, I know I'm pretty, right? And it's okay to be confident. If you know you gorgeous and you feel that you gorgeous, then hey, you're gorgeous, right? It's all about the confidence for me. And I'm learning to have my confidence in myself too. But I do think a lot of people, I do think there is a thing of pretty punishment where the pretty girls get picked on, right? And like one of them say that, the pretty girls get picked on because of jealousy, right? There is such a thing as girls that see another pretty that might be prettier than them. They're going to pick on them because they feel the jealousy. They feel that insecurity that, hey, she's prettier than me and she probably can swing this type of guy that I like because she's prettier than me. I got to say that's insecurity. I really do. I am understanding myself too, that if I see a girl, whether it's at the gym or out, then I think is gorgeous and pretty, I'm going to say, okay, yeah, she's pretty. But I also go for the girls that are confident in themselves, that knows that, hey, they're cute, but they're not amazingly gorgeous, right? Sweetie, she's amazingly gorgeous, right? Because she got the talent for good hits, right? It costs to be pretty. And artists like Sweetie and SZA and Cardi B, right? They're going to be overtly pretty because it costs, right? It's the fame game. If you got a pretty face with a hit record, then you've got your content right there. Right? You've got the content that you can create, and you've got the I call it the sex appeal for us gentlemen, and for ladies too. If you swing that way, we don't judge. If you've got that pretty appeal, then you're going to go in and you're going to make a sale, right? In the music game, right? I tend to go for the women who, of course, if you're pretty, I don't go for the girls who are overtly top model, America's Next Top Model type girls. I don't go for those girls because I know what I can swing. I think I talked about this before, T. I know what I can swing. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm fugly. That's not what I'm saying. But, I can't say that I've got the chisel jaw. I can't say I've got a model top face. Can't say that. But what I can say is I think there's a certain type of style that people attract to, right? And if you attract to the supermodel size, -5 waist, right? If you attract that kind of thing, that's your preference, then you got to be prepared for that pretty punishment, because there's going to be people talk about you, right? I get people talk about me a whole heck of a lot. right? At the gym, I know that I'm, lifting weights. I'm getting more swoller. I'm losing the weight. I'm more healthier. I've got people that say, hey, you look ugly, right? I had it one time where I posted a video of me dancing in the gym. Somebody didn't like me doing that, right? I'm going to have haters. I will. But I think it's all about the confidence style. I do say to a lot of ladies, if you feel that you have to punish somebody for being pretty, I just think it's an amount of insecurity. I think you have to be, if you are true to yourself and you know that you're pretty in your own realm, in your own right, then that's all that really matters. I know that sounds cliche from a lot of people, but I just, personally for me, I just think it shouldn't matter that if somebody is amazingly gorgeous, you shouldn't have to amount yourself to that person. You have to be able to amount to your own realm, right? Your own thing, your own looks, and be confident in your own look. There's a way to be confident and not too cocky, right? If you too cocky, then that might be something that may not attract people, right? But if you are confident in your looks, right? If you're confident in your looks and you're able to just be yourself, then that's the pretty for me, I feel. But like I say, there is a thing as pretty punishment. I think it has something to do a little bit. And I would say this because this is a stereotype. This is not me saying. I think this also has it to where colorism is a thing. I feel kind of adds on to this. Back in the day, there was a lot of colorism when it comes down to light skin, dark skin. There's the stereotype that light skin is pretty and dark skin is ugly. That's not the case. In my book, it doesn't matter if you light skin or dark skin. If you are gorgeous, you're gorgeous to me, right? I like my dark skins and my light skins. I like my white girls too and my Asians, right? I don't. But I think this stems from it being people being colorist as well. Well, they prefer light skin and they think light skin is the way to go. They think light skin is the prettiest of the pretty. And dark skin, oh, I don't want her because she's dark skinned. If you're like that, shame on you. You're a colorist. But that's what I think this kind of stems from too, because Sweetie is light skinned. She's high yellow. That's the joke, is what people call her. She's light skinned. So she might get picked on because of the stereotype of dark skinned girls, right? The dark skins might be picking on her because she's light skinned and they're dark skinned. It sucks that the world is like that, but the world is like that. I think we as a people, we as black people, we shouldn't care too much about colorism. Hey, if you are nice melanin, then you're part of us. Doesn't matter if you're light skinned melanin or dark skinned melanin, but it is the harsh reality that we're into it. So I do, my hats goes out to Sweetie. Honestly, it does suck, but there is a thing I feel of pretty punishment. There is a thing such as as a pretty privilege too. If you're pretty, you get a lot of things handed to you. If you're pretty, I do say that sucks because I've watched a lot of celebrities. I have a lot of friends that say, girlfriends that say, damn, is me being pretty enough for these dudes? No, not in my book. No. I don't care if you're pretty. If you're not emotionally, physically, intellectually intelligent, then you may not be the one for me, right? If you just want to hit it and quit it and give it up because you think you're pretty and that's enough, that's not enough for me, right? You've got to be able to think on your feet and to be intellectual, and you have to be grown for me too. Because again, I said it before, I said it again, I'm 29, I'll be ready to be 30 next year. I'm old. I'm not an old soul, but I'm old enough to know that being pretty is not enough. Being handsome is not enough, right? That's just how I feel. We're just in this generation where some of the women out there, they think being pretty is enough. That's all they can do. That's the minimum they can do is being pretty. It sucks that we're like that, but we're like that. We are. So, coming up next for the of course, is also coming from the Shade Room as well. While we're on the topics of working out in hip hop news, believe it or not, these celebrities they're working out. And this is an open-ended question that I asked to our fan base: who are you picking as a gym partner? I think I said this before in quite a few episodes before I got sick, that there is a couple that say hey to me nowadays, which I love because I was in the gym and I saw them, they're the gym couples that were out there, and I just said, hey, you guys are amazing as gym couples. I see y'all in here a lot, and it's very, very dope to see that. Hopefully one day it comes very soon that I'm able to pick out a gym partner when it comes down to it. Tiana Taylor is the first person that I see on this list. We saw a workout video here. She is working them abs out. Let me tell you, Tiana Taylor, jeez Louise. Tiana Taylor in a new movie. Can't wait to see that. Leonardo DiCaprio's new movie. Content building, Tiana Taylor's working out for that role. So who are you guys picking? Tiana Taylor with them extravagant abs, beautiful body figure, and beautiful physique. Are you guys picking Meg Thee Stallion? Meg Thee Stallion's been working out. She's getting those abs back right, but she's getting a slim waist. Are you guys picking Jay? I don't know who that is. Jay Nice. I don't know who that is, but it's good to see that she's working out. A lot of ass shots. These ladies know what they're doing. I'm joking, y'all, but let me show you my ass when I do these squats. Ari, big and Ari. A lot of, again, ass shot. Oh, it's jiggling too. Joy Chavez and Heather Sanders. Are you picking them as your gym partners? I think, honestly, the person that I'm picking as a gym partner will have to be Tiana Taylor. And I'm joking, but I'm for real. Because, we're seeing a full body workout physique when it comes down to Tiana Taylor. And I got to say, Tiana Taylor's abs look better than mine. I said Tiana Taylor's abs, not ass, abs look better than mine. So I would be inspired to see about getting abs along with a full body figure. I do think abs, not ass, abs on a woman looks very, very intriguing to me. I attract that. As long as you got abs and it don't look bodybuilder-ish, because if you look like you can just straight up whoop my ass if I mess with you wrong, then that may not be the one for me. But I've seen some girls with some abs that they show it in the gym and it's like, okay, look, I see you, sis. You got it. You got it. You got it. So shout out to all the gym goers out there. Shout out to the gym couples as well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. It feels so good to be back. I know I owe you guys more episodes because I know I haven't been posting as much as of late as of last week, me being sick, but I'm officially back, healthy from sickness, and I can't wait to post more for you guys as well. We are going to upload today's episode, and then tomorrow we got What Happened Was podcast, and then Friday I'll be back either doing K.L.P Aftermath or Bro Code podcast. Again, our schedule kind of got screwed up because, I've been sick, and I had to reshift some things. So I'm getting back into our daily upload schedule. But we hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast as well. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channels, whether it's Facebook Watch, YouTube, or any audio platforms you get your podcast from. Guys, go check out Teasing Hearts. Again, that's Teasing Hearts, me and Sienna Crosswell's latest mini series that's available pretty much everywhere now. We've got it on Instagram Watch, Facebook Watch, and also on Spotify for video as well. So you guys don't miss that new season, that new series that we got for us as well. And we've got more podcasting to come later on at the end of this week. Again, we love you guys. Thank you guys so very much for your patience. We'll catch y'all in the next podcast episode. Until then, stay safe, stay swanky. Peace.